Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. They don't move wrong, I'm a gator. From the swamp, homie, I'm a gator.
But I can't tame them, dog. You ready to cook all dogs, all Seminoles. We coming.
Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. They don't move wrong, I'm a gator. From the swamp, homie, I'm a gator. And that two-tone, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator.
Welcome back to Gators Talk, guys. I am your host, Minna Trader Alex, guys. And we're going to do a recap of Tennessee, Florida, down in the swamp. We had a lot of good things that happened during that game and a lot of miscues during that game, guys. So we're going to get right into it, though. Defense played lights out first half. Man, they balled out, y'all. They balled out for real. Like, listen to these stats, guys. Listen to these stats. They held Tennessee to 30 yards in the first half. 30 yards rushing. 92 yards passing, 122 total yards, 5 first down. There was 2 out of 5 on first down conversions, which is less than 50%, guys. We're talking about like 40-something%. And what we did was 136 yards rushing, 146 yards passing, 282 yards total yards, 16 first downs, 7 and 8 on third down conversions. It's 87%. We own time of possession. We're at 21 minutes and 19 seconds, and we only kept them on the field only for 7 minutes and 50 seconds. That's what I was talking about in the pregame, guys. But before this game got started, that's what I was talking about. Keeping these guys off the field, keeping their offense on the sideline, and we continue to run the clock. And as we run the clock, we get in the end zone. We score. We scored 26 points that first half, guys. Now we allowed the big play early in the game. They ran a rub route early and got a big play out of it. That's something we got to get better at and get better at switching that off. Maybe switch that off, or maybe just do a better job at getting off that route, because that could have been called too. Brew McCoy definitely interfered with the cornerback, but they didn't call it. They gave up the big play. Defense ended up settling down after that series and really start to dominate the line of scrimmage, man. Cam Jackson, big ball game got a game out of him. The guy was taking on double teams left and right, man. And not only he was taking on double teams, he was breaking through the double teams, causing disruption to the offense. I told you guys, coming through that, slanting through, and a lot of penetration against the Tennessee offense and the offensive line will disrupt their offense, because they run a lot of plays from their run game outside of just throwing to that sideline, throwing those screens. So Cam Jackson, big ball game out of him. Big ball game. Caleb Banks was pretty solid in that middle as well. You're not going to really see it unless you really went in there and watch the game tape. He played big down in there. Also, what's my guy, number 7? Chris McClellan, he played well down in that middle. The defensive tackles, guys, Jamari Lyons too. He came in. Y'all might have noticed it. They brought in a fresh defensive line package with Jamari Lyons, Chris McClellan, and T.J. Searcy. They kept Princely in, but they brought a whole new rotation in, guys. Those guys play. It wasn't no fall off between one rotation to the next rotation. It was just a consistent play out of both units on the field, and that was big for Florida, because that kept the guys fresh, rotating them in so they could consistently put pressure on that offensive line to try to move the ball, and that made a lot of disruptive plays happen because of that. But those guys, Tyreek Sapp and Princely, I'm not going to try it yet. I'm not ready, guys. I'm going to mess up the name, but Princely definitely, they played solid out there on the edge, man. But Scooby Williams, man, balled out, man. That young man was running sideline to sideline, making plays. Right, following right behind him, Shamar James. If Shamar James didn't make that play, Scooby Williams coming in to clean up. The call Scooby Williams to clean up, man, because that boy is running sideline to sideline. He is surprising me on how he's performing thus far this season. These last 2 games, man, he has turned it on. And I hope he continue this, man. If he start being able to force turnovers with those tackles, that's when he's gonna start making a real big difference. Because right now he is a difference maker on his defense, and here's the reason why those guys only had 30 yards. Him and Big Cam Jackson, those guys are the reason why they only had 30 yards at half. Jordan Castell, balling. Y'all know we've been seeing horrible safety play from Trey Dean. Sorry to say talk about it, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. We needed to upgrade at safety. Jordan Castell, as a true freshman, is out there making plays. Y'all seeing the 2 plays down the field? Those were pass breakups down the field. That rarely happened last year. I mean, that's another time that both of them had him double along the sideline, the cornerback and the safety. We're seeing a lot of big plays out of there from the safety position. Miguel Mitchell, he's playing solid ball. He haven't really made a name for himself yet, but he haven't made the big mistakes yet neither. So that's the good thing. He's coming down making tackles. We need Jason Marshall to step his game up. Man, you are a veteran cornerback. We have high praise for you to be a top draft pick coming out this year. He got to perform like an All-American, man. We need All-American play out of Jason Marshall. He still can get there, but he got to get his head in the game, man. He got to stop thinking so much. Getting beat for that touchdown, that should have never happened. Yeah, I mean, it happens, but come on. This DBU, y'all. This is DBU. We need this guy to shut it down. And we can get that will be the difference within his defense. Jalen Kimber and Devin Moore, they're playing ball. They're playing ball. I know they don't want to take Jason Marshall Jr. out that game because he's been supplanted at his position for so long. But son, you got to step your game up, man. Because them boys is stepping their game up, and they're looking a lot better. We just got him to get him to increase his play by 10%, maybe 15%. Because the defense is playing lights out, man, and he's becoming a weakness in the defense. We can't have giving up easy yards. Now, when they run rub routes against our cornerbacks, that's tough to defend. Let's get that clear. That's tough to defend. By professional players, it's tough to defend. So, I'm not going to really downplay or down talk against these what we call amateur players. But he has to play better. He has to play better. We're seeing a lot of different things. Those guys was running to the ball very well on those screenplays. Believe it or not, I like the kind of the defense the way Austin Armstrong schemed it up, man. Too had the guys, every time a guy come out there and it looked like it's not going to be a run, he had Princely out there on the edge, out there in between, cutting that distance off between the inside receiver and that offensive tackle. That was big. That was big schematically. That'll shut down that screen that they were trying to run out there to the right side of the defense. So that was huge, and he lined that up as well with the nickel out there as well. They had like a 3x3 defensive concept, ready to defend those screens out there. And we did a pretty good job getting lined up, surprisingly, because, Tennessee does like to run that fast-paced offense and that up-tempo offense. And when they get right to the line and they're calling plays and they're snapping that ball. We got our plays in pretty good, and we was able to execute. We was on a few times where guys were just standing there looking to see what the call is. So that was big, man. Austin Armstrong, hats off to Austin Armstrong with the defensive game plan and having those guys ready to play when the ball was snapped because we knew it was going to be an up-tempo, fast-paced team. We defended them pretty well, being that these guys up front have been playing well coming into this game. That's on both sides of the line of scrimmage because these guys on defense, they was leading the country with tackles for loss coming into this game and lead the country in sacks. So we stonewalled their defense for slowing us down by pounding right at them. That's how you slow down a good defensive front, you run right at them. You hit them right at the mouth. That's how that happens. But we've been looking pretty good, guys. We had a few defensive improvements going into the season. So last year we allowed 29 points per game. This year 20 points per game. That's because of the Utah game. So soon that should get better if we can get a couple of shutouts or get something under 10. Keep teams under 10. So this Charlotte game is going to help that point per game statistic. So that's going to be big. Last year we was allowing 412 yards per game. This year 329. That's a difference of over 75 yards. Last year was allowing 178 yards rushing. That's almost 200 yards rushing, guys. This year 103. Big difference. Big difference. That's because of the guys that Billy Napier brought in. That was Caleb Banks and Cam Jackson. Those guys are making a difference. And the kids that was here last year getting better. Jamar Lyons. Hey, believe it or not, guys, if you have been watching, ever since I said something about Jamar Lyons, boy, this kid been balling from that position, from the third string position. He's been balling. He's like third, fourth string position at defensive tackle technique. He's been playing pretty good football lately. Because last year he got pushed around real good. This year he's playing ball. But 233 yards passing per game last year. We're allowing 226. We can come down on that. We see that big play really, really helped them last year. So we can cut back on those deep throws. That's gonna come down to the cornerbacks. C-Ray gotta have those guys ready for not getting beat deep. Now, rub route, there's nothing we can do about it, like I said before. That's hard to defend by anyone. But we gotta stop giving up the big play down the field. We stop giving up that big explosive. 50% third down conversion rates last year, guys. That is massive. This year, we're down to 39%, which is huge. Now, this is another stat, guy. The red zone defense down there. We gave up 85% of the time a team scored. It was ugly. Like, for real. But this year, 66%. If we can get down to like the 40s, 39, 40 something, between 39 and 45%, we're playing very good defense, and we're not allowing teams, even once they get in the red zone, we're not allowing touchdowns. We're making them guys kick field goals. And most of the time, if they're going for fourth down, we're shutting that down. So that's going to be big. But we are performing a lot better this year under Austin Armstrong. Now, I was critical. I was critical of the hire. I wasn't super duper critical, but I looked at it kind of side eye a little bit. Like, this young cat. What we gonna do with this young cat? We kind of looked at his credentials, seeing what he did over at Southern Miss, and who was sold out to him, who was actually hiring him, and who he was learning from. So I'm like, okay, somebody knows something. This dude know what he's doing. And, then I seen the press conference. He sounded like a very comprehensive guy, a very competent guy. So that was big. And now that we're seeing the game plan he put against Tennessee, that was a lot better. The Utah game, he was kind of unprepared. That was his first big test. He was kind of unprepared for that first play. But he know better to be ready for the first plays these days. Now, these coaches going to really we're going to test to see what you got. And now he's ready for that challenge. I think we're going to be doing good defensively come next week against Charlotte. Now, I'm not going to really talk about Charlotte that much, guys, because, it's Charlotte. Be for real. We need to really focus on what we need to focus on, and that's getting better on offense, especially on special teams, guys. Man, if they don't let Trey Smack be the kicker, because Adam Mahalik is going through a slump, and I'm pretty sure that it's a mental slump, so you got to let the kid calm down a little bit and find his kick swag again. So right until that time, I think Trey Smack should be our place kicker. That's because you seen how he kicked the hell out of that ball when he got in the game. Put it about three decks up. Adam Mahalik had that ball so low they blocked the kick. Billy Mayfield tried to clean that up. All right, come on, Napes. Bro. Okay, the guys jump. Most time, guys do jump high and try to get up there and reach them. Sometimes they get it. Shit, that happens. But how many times this kid done had the ball blocked? Come on, man. But we definitely had a few miscues on special teams. 2 missed kicks. Offsides defensively on the kickoff. We offsides on kickoff. When you kick the ball, a guy got ahead of the kicker. So he offsides. Come on, man. Then another one. The punter shanked the ball again. Come on, man. Crawshaw. We have to get better on special teams. We can't be continue to play like this on special teams. Special teams is very important with field position. And when we had good field position, we was able to capitalize on good field position and score. So we got to win the game of field position with our special teams. The kick returners have been doing pretty good. So I really can't complain about the kick returners, which is punt return and kick return. They've been doing pretty good, even though I'm not going to say we had some great returns, but they're not stinking it up. And that's the good thing about it. Hate to say it like that, but it'd be good to talk about us getting back to having returns or having decent returns every game. That'll be big. You can only do so much, if the other team's punting real good. You can't do nothing about that. But we can control what we can control, and that's our guys kicking the ball correctly and blocking down correctly on field goal unit. Field goal unit and the kickoff team has to get better. Crawshaw has to get better. I don't know who they got to get in there to motivate those kids on special teams, but they got to do something. But overall, we had a pretty good performance against Tennessee. I would say we do have to get better getting down the field as far as explosive down the field in the passing game, because as you can see, that is hindering us. Graham Mertz have been solid out there, guys. I said he could be good. I didn't say he can be great, but I said he could be good. Right now, he's 64, 85, 75% completion percentage, guys. That's pretty good from going from 50-something% to 75%. Even though they're not long throws, he's still making completions out there, and the guys are catching the ball. He's throwing a catchable ball, so that's pretty good. He's averaging 8 yards of reception. He got 692 yards passing, 3 touchdowns to 1 interception through 3 games, which is not great. We know that. Most quarterbacks have 5 touchdowns, maybe 1 interception, or maybe 0 interceptions by now. But that's on Billy Napier and the offensive staff, Rob Sell and Billy Gonzalez, to get those guys ready to play on the outside. But there has been some plays left out there on offense. There were a few guys running free down the field in the secondary. I've seen it. I sat down and watched the tape. There's a few plays. Ricky Pearsall was streaking down the middle of the field. Graham Mertz hit Khalil Jackson on the sideline with that great catch. On that same play, that was Ricky Pearsall was running downfield free. So there are some downfield throws that could be made that is schemed in there pretty well. There was another play where they ran a double post route. A post route came from the right and a post route came from the left. And it crossed down the field, and the guys ended up being wide open. All he had to do was lead it out there towards the sideline and up the field to the sideline, touchdown. So there are deep plays available in his offense. It's just on the quarterback to get it down the field and give his guys a chance to make a play. That's all that is. But Mertz have to build the confidence to throw that ball down the field, guys. That's the thing. When we had Kyle Trask, he didn't care. He gonna sling it out there and give his guys a chance because he knew he had some athletes at wide receiver. So he have to learn to trust his receivers a little bit more. I'm pretty sure Billy Napier is coaching him up not to take those kind of risks because of his past. And I think if you remember back, Billy Napier said him and Graham Mertz sat down and watched every play every turnover that he had last year. So that's something they discussed. So that's something that they're working on in-house on building his confidence for he can start taking some chunks down the field. I mean, that's why we had the deep throw in the McNeese State game. That's why he was so crunk about that. You know what I mean? So that's something he's been working on, and that was success when he had that completion for a touchdown. And that's why he was so excited, you could tell. But, you just got to get a kid a chance to get his feet wet, get acclimated to the game, and gain more confidence so he can make those deep throws down the field. But hopefully, we got a tune-up game that's going to happen against Charlotte. Hopefully, Billy give him a chance to sling it. And sometimes the offensive line has to give him time. There's a few times that he did have a deep chance to throw deep, but the line didn't give him the time. There was a time when Michael Mazuka, he missed the block and shoot. As soon as that guy came in and hit him, his guys was opening up. He needed another second and a half. He could have got rid of that ball for a touchdown. So it's there. It's just the line got to maintain their blocks and And I think Graham Mertz have a little bit more pocket presence because a few times he could have just stepped up in the pocket and made a better throw than just roll out. But that's just something. That's a risk. That's a move that he's taking, not to get sacked, and at the same time give him a chance to making a completion down the field still. So it's a give and take with that situation. But overall, Graham Mertz is having a solid season so far. It's not great. I mean, it's just good. He's managing offense. He just need to get a little bit more efficient down the field. He played great on third down this last game. I would give him that. He played great on third down last game. We just had a few hiccups in the second half. Speaking of the second half, Billy got a little conservative, but I think it was for the team purpose. He got a lot of youth on his team. So he don't want to put those guys in risky situations late in the game and let Tennessee claw back into this game. We didn't want to give Tennessee no opportunities to try to creep back into this game. So we had a game plan, which was to run the ball and run that clock out, which worked out just fine. We had a hiccup late with the big score over Jakeem Jackson, but we had a few cornerbacks down. Devin Moore went down, and also Jalen Kimber went down. So that had a freshman in there playing. They tried him, and they had success against him. So that was all good. Jordan Castell stepped up as a leader and talked to the young guy and let him know, look, man, just keep your head in the game, and we're gonna continue to play ball, dog. Let's go have fun. So having leadership like that, and as a true freshman, Jordan Castell is doing his thing. He's definitely doing his thing, and definitely both of them boys coming from Orlando area. They have a somewhat of a bond being Orange County boys, being Florida boys. Speaking of Florida boys, I seen a podcast today. Tyreek Sapp said, letting Billy them know, look, let us be Florida boys, man. Let them boys be Florida boys. That's what make them want to go to Florida, because they're allowed to be a Florida boy in Florida. That's what they want. Give it to them. Let them be Florida boys, but still have the same discipline and football vernacular when coming to Florida and coming to play for Florida. You gotta. That's what that is. That's what I was harping on in the off season, saying let's recruit our kids and let them come to Florida. Let them have some pride about being Florida kids and playing Florida ball. That's what I was talking about. But man. Now, I got a few guys that I do want to shout out, man. Damian George Jr. He had the block that broke the run for Trevor Etienne on that left side when he pulled around. I'm gonna give Big Damian George his flowers because I give him a lot of hell, even though he still had a rough game. But he had some pretty good plays during that game, and I definitely would say that about him. Michael Mazuka had a rough time, but he still had some solid plays that game. Kingsley Iguakin, Richard Leonard. Man, Richard Leonard played his behind off on that offensive line. Austin Barber, solid game. Solid game. We still can get better play from Jonathan Odom at tight end. I see we made the switch to Hayden Hanson, and we got better in the run game. It's just Hayden Hanson just a lot quicker on those kick out blocks. Most of the time when he's going to do a sweep, not a sweep, but most of the time he's going to pull from that tight end position. That's how they run that play from the tight end pass play too as well. They used to pulling that guy, so sometimes he just don't hit that guy. He just go right out in the flat. Well, he just got to get faster on those pulls and kick. Once he do get there, kick that guy out, get him out to play. That's a few times number 20 blew us up the middle. And there was nothing they could do about that. I mean, some athletes just win sometimes, but in this case, we need our tight end to do his job and close that off when we have the play on for him to kick out the guy or go down in the hole and get to that next level. That's just something that I have my own. Like I said, I watched the film, so I kind of watched what was going on pretty much on every play, whether it's pass or run. So he had a solid game, but I think he still definitely need to get better at blocking. Definitely get better at blocking. Like I said, he has good hands. He's just not explosive. That's going to have to change because that's what's hindering the offense. But still get a kid a chance to play. Live his dream and play college football. But at the same time, we got to get the best guys on the field to play winning football. And that's what's going to have to be the key. I know Jonathan Odom is a legacy kid, and he's a good kid. To be honest with you, he's a good kid. But that doesn't go over well when we're trying to play winning football. They're trying to bring the program back to the height that it used to be at when we was winning SEC championships and winning national championships. So that's something that's going to be see if Billy make some of those hard decisions. When it comes to personnel and when it comes to the kids in the game. But that would be on his coach. That would be on his coach, and that's the new tight ends coach. So we definitely got to definitely keep an eye on that position. We do got to get better at that position. So we have young talent on the roster, so we just got to start seeing some of those guys rise to the top and go for that position. But this will be a tune-up game to get these guys right and fix some of those things that that they're rusty at, and get better at some of those things that they are rusty at. So that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge, guys. But I'm not going to hold you guys too much longer, man. Y'all know it's all about this orange and blue, man. Y'all know it's Gator Day come Saturday. Y'all be loud in effect, what I'm saying, down in the swamp, man. Y'all turn it all the way up, man, all the way up. Turn it up like it's Tennessee. Every game counts. We need to dominate this game. But we getting on out of here, y'all.